Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday, our Tech Tuesday. And I'm going to go through a little bit of the business side of things once again tonight. This information is something I'm sure we've all heard, we've all been told about it in various different trainings over the years. And I know it's something that I've listened to on more than one occasion, but this one just seemed to hit a little bit differently. And made it something a little bit more practical. And it is something I actually have done in the past. I probably need to do it again, or at least just carry on with the information that I will tell other people to do, because there is, I would say, a little bit of homework to do. If you get anything out of this, do the homework. And it's how to dream. So let me share my screen. Um, Get me out of the way over here. And it's a little bit of how to dream, how to do the, I wouldn't say the practical parts of the business, but it is practical to a certain extent, because it's how to actually get yourself motivated enough to go. And it's the define your why. And I took this from a podcast. Podcast is called Network Marketing Breakthroughs with Rob Sperry. Rob Sperry has been a network marketer in the past. He is currently a coach and speaker and trainer, and travels around the world speaking. And he's written countless books. And I find his information very interesting, thought-provoking at times, and just a different spin, because network marketing has been around for many decades. It will be around for many more decades. And the basis is still the same. The way it's done has changed as technology improves and changes. I do believe we need to keep up with that, because that's where our market is. And you go through all of these trainings, and he'll tell you, back in the dark ages, if we think back to when Charlie first started, Charlie traveled 120 k's a night, or at least I think it was 80 k's at the time, every night after work to Port Elizabeth, did a 3 hour presentation 5 nights a week, and then went back again on a Saturday for 3 or 4 hours of training. Would we be prepared to do that today? And there was no email, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Facebook. So where and how did he find people? And look at what he's did. Look at what he's still doing. And as we all know, Charlie does not do technology very well. But look at what he's doing. So the principle is the same. Technology has changed. Uh, think about also back in the early days. How did we do our trainings? You had to go and attend a live training, and you sat and took notes, pen and paper. And then you bought cassettes, and you had to have a cassette player, either at home or in your car or both. And you listened to those cassettes. You had to pay for those. If you sent out information, you had to pay for the mailing. You had to pay for the packaging. You had to pay for the videos. And now you click a button and it's instant. And anybody can see your website. You can do the orders online. John, I still remember yours talk about back in the early days when you wanted a fax machine. Who still uses a fax machine? I don't think anybody even knows what a fax machine is these days, because it's all done automatically, WhatsApp, online. It's so, so simple. Yet the information has become so much more easily attainable. There's so much more, and yet we're not doing it. Why? So we need to define our why as to why we want to do this. And this particular episode that Rob did was an interview with a gentleman with the name of Andrew Eaton, who actually is a South African guy. The original interview, if you want to listen to it, I can send you the link. Very interesting listening to an American interview, a South African accent. And he lives up in Durban. or lived up in Durban. I don't know if he's still there or if he's moved down to Cape Town, but he's a local boy. And the power of your why is so much bigger than you think. So, what is your why? In my opinion, a lot of people have forgotten how to dream. I know I'm one of them. If you do dream, it may seem like it's out of reach or reality. You may have a specific pain point, but it may seem insurmountable. I was chatting to somebody this morning. I took part in a little charity run down the road from me, and chatting to one of the people there, a colleague from work, and I mentioned that one of our local anaesthetists had just recently bought a new vehicle. Um, Traded in their old vehicle, bought the new one, but this new vehicle is one of these little cheapy nasties. It's called a Porsche, and it's valued in the region of about 2.8 million. And her comment was, wow. And we look at our little salary and we go, okay, can we afford this extra 2,000 Rand a month to pay for the car? Because her comment was, I wonder what the monthly repayments are. And I said, at that amount, you don't have monthly repayments. You pay cash, just like Charlie does. Charlie walks into a Mercedes dealership and says, I want that vehicle in that color and I want these accessories. Here's my credit card. And he drives out. Well, he paid for. Is that not a dream? It has always been my dream to own a brand new car. I can say I have. They haven't been paid for in full yet, but I have been able to drive a brand new car off the showroom floor. It's a wonderful feeling. But for a lot of people, that dream is so far-fetched. It's somebody said recently, oh no, I wish I could win the lotto. Well, wouldn't it be better to win the lotto every month, like Charlie does? Sometimes dreams can seem more like fairy tales than something tangible. There's my story again. I met a person recently who appears to be financially stable. And when I commented that he was working on a day that he could have been off, his statement was that he had to work because he hadn't won the lotto yet. And this is somebody who I know in most of our cases we would consider them well off. But the sad reality is if he's not working, he's not earning any money. And that is the reality of most people these days, or a very large majority of people. And I do believe that a lot of us think that dreaming is exactly that. It's just a dream. But you need to wake up and actually live it. Smell the coffee grounds, not the roses. But is it possible to dream about smelling the roses? So the suggestion that Andrew came up with is to write your perfect day. Not type it, write it. I read an article recently that said that if you are typing something, your brain can't process it properly because it's the same input. You're simply using a finger to push a button, and it's not the same input. When you write something, handwrite something, your brain is forced to focus more carefully. And for me, it's a little bit like when I do park run, it is a trail run. The particular track that I run on is anything but level, except one little section. And if you don't look down and focus on where you're putting your feet, well, you're going to meet me by accident. And I've met a few people like that because you are going to injure yourself. And I've done a similar thing, rolled my ankle on more than one occasion, simply by losing that focus for a split second, and over you go. Whereas road running, completely different situation. Flat level road, you can look out at the sea, watch the whales and the dolphins and the birds in the air, and your mind can go off somewhere else. And this is the same as between typing and writing. So you need to write your perfect day. We all know we should do this, but very few of us actually do it. First, take an entire day off of your usual routine. Just disappear. turn off everything, just go somewhere. Andrew spoke about the day that when he did this, he lived up in Joburg at the time, and he said there's not really a lot of calm, peaceful places you can go there. But he had a nursery not too far away from him. So he went down and he sat in the coffee shop in the nursery. And that was where he created his perfect day. So you need to find a quiet, tranquil spot with no distractions. For me, that would probably be my front veranda where I can see the sea in the distance. And this is exactly what I did when I did this exercise. I could see the sea in the distance. It was calm, it was clear, it was a nice warm summer day. Birds were in the air, and I was able to just write. Take an exam pad and pen. It's very important that you write this down. I'm told that there is a brain link that enables things to become clearer when writing rather than when typing. Throw out any and all limiting beliefs. You can fly. Hopefully in an aircraft, but you can fly. Think like you're writing a novel or a movie script where literally anything is possible. If you've ever watched a movie that, and you've read the book along with the same title as the movie, in a lot of cases, you'll find that the movie is very different to the book because what you are watching is somebody else's idea of what the author wrote in the book. And this is why I enjoy reading more than watching a movie, because I can create my own movie. And this is how you're going to create your own dream and your own life. Think as if you are creating a movie. Write what you see. Crystal clear lake, calm ocean. I'm fortunate I live by the sea. So for me, I don't need to be on the beach every day. In fact, I get bored just lying on the beach doing nothing. So I'm going to go for a walk next to the beach. And for me, there's nothing more calming than just taking an amble along. Every so often you stop and you just watch the waves. And just recently we've had some incredibly calm oceans. And there's just these little waves coming onto the shore. Today they were quite big, but usually it's calm, clear. That's what I like to see. What time did you wake up this morning? Before the sun? After the sun? At the sun? What did you smell? Fresh sea air early in the morning or fresh pine trees? If you're up in the mountains, you're probably going to hear and smell the pines next to this cool, clear lake. If you're next to the sea, there's nothing that beats that early morning sea smell, certainly for me. What are you touching? You're sitting on a deck chair on the beach. Are you sitting on a wooden bench? Are you sitting on the beach itself? What are you touching? What are you seeing, doing? What are you hearing? Is the soft sussing of the sea or breeze in the tree? Sometimes I'll hear what sounds like water outside, and it's actually the palm trees in my neighbor's garden where there's just a gentle breeze ruffling the leaves. This afternoon we had this whole uh, convention of birds outside. They were going crazy, just twittering and tweeting, and it was very calming and enjoyable to listen to. So what are you hearing? Imagine all of these things. Take yourself on a mental, out-of-body experience. Just let your mind go. Who are you with? Are you on your own? With friends? With family? Are you warm? Are you cold? Is it cold lake? Is it a cold sea? Or is it pleasantly warm? And it's not quite bath temperature, but it's that lovely, comforting temperature. What are you wearing? If you're at the sea, hopefully you're wearing a costume or shorts or a skirt, a sun hat, peak cap. What are you wearing? Just again, this is your out of body. You're sitting there and you take yourself up. What do you look like from a drone's eye view? When I was out running this morning, somebody had a drone up taking photos. What, if you've ever seen pictures of what drones show these days, what are you seeing as if you were the camera in the drone. Your finances. Once you've perfected your day, turn to your financial portfolio. Yeah, how much do you have in your savings account? We all know what we should all have a savings account that Charlie's encouraged us to do. How much is in there? When you make a purchase and you see your current bank balance, what does it look like? Is it, oof, when's payday again? Or, oh, wow, yeah, I actually could take the next 2 weeks off and not worry about anything because I've got more than enough money to pay for anything I want in the coming future. What does your investment portfolio look like? Do you have a whole mess of properties like Robert Kiyosaki? Do you have a couple of companies like Bill Gates? Do you have stocks, bonds? What's your portfolio look like? Is your financial advisor calling you regularly to update you on your wealth portfolio? You know, this good investment is coming up. Would you be interested in me putting in 100,000 Rand or a million Rand or whatever? When you're asked to assist a charity, are you giving a percentage or a set amount? Again, I was listening to another podcast recently, and this couple were talking about that they went through a time in their life when they felt God had moved them not to give 10%, but to give their age percentage. They were 20, about 25, 28. So instead of giving 10%, they were giving their age, 25 or 28%. 50%, 100%. How much are you? Somebody says, oh, yeah, we desperate, we need 100,000 Rand. Are you able to quietly go into your bank account and transfer 100,000 Rand into a charity? When you travel, is it first class, business class, or cramped cattle class, economy class? When you walk into a shop, do you check the price tag first or the value of the item? Again, I'll go back to podcasts I listened to recently. And this guy says he used to walk into shops and, oh, okay, and he'd go and get what he needed. But he'd find the cheapest shop and he'd check the tags and I wonder if I can get it cheaper elsewhere. Now he walks into a shop and he goes, okay, I like that. It looks really good, feels good, I'll take it. Janet Kanikulia, which she isn't these days, but Janet, one of our team members up in Uganda, her definition of financial freedom was walking into a shop, seeing a cell phone and saying, yes, I'd like that phone, thank you, picking it up, paying cash for it and walking out. Are you able to do that? Your perfect day is now complete. Now what? It was good exercise, but now what do we have to do from there? So you've just completed your bestseller novel featuring your perfect day and you as the main character. Now, is it just going to stay a dream or it's going to become reality? Now what? You've come out of your trance and the sad smell of reality has hit you. Your child's dirty socks are next to your head on the floor, and it's not a very pleasant smell. Do you just leave it as a dream? What success habits do you have to do daily? We all know in our training we've got 3 basic daily success habits, but maybe we need to do a little bit more than that. And again, this is coming from what Andrew has suggested, and we've always been told, look at successful people and do what successful people do. And the first thing that he does is journal. When he wakes up in the morning, he journals every single day. And pretty much consistently across all the podcasts that I've listened to with all these successful people, pretty much every single one of them journals. I know I used to do it long ago, haven't done it for a very long time. I need to get back into this, and this is something I need to be held accountable for as well. Write down what made you happy, made you sad. What did you learn? So Maybe do your journal first thing in the morning, maybe do it last thing at night. If you're doing it first thing in the morning, you can reflect on what happened yesterday. If you're doing it at night, reflect on what happened during the day today. What mistakes did you make that you can learn from? I love Mark Hazel's description on that. He doesn't make mistakes. He has school fees. Some school fees are a lot more expensive than other school fees. But if you make a mistake, it's not a mistake. You learn from it. Write down 3 things you are grateful for, regardless of your present mood. It's last thing at night. You've had a hectic day. You've had customers jumping on your head. You've had people complaining to you about charges that you charge them, and well, it's not fair that their medical aid didn't pay for this, and you just had a rough day. But somewhere there's been things that you're grateful for. Hey, we had cell connection all day today. We had electricity all day today. I could walk. And in my position, I get to be very grateful about that, because a lot of people I deal with on a daily basis can't walk. They're stuck in a bed. They've had surgery. They're in pain. They're doped out of their bracket because of the pain. They would love nothing better than to be able to get out of bed and go to the bathroom on their own. And they can't do that. So what are you grateful for? Are you able to do those things yourself? Then read them aloud. So read all of these little things that you're grateful for aloud. Aside from a journal, you need to read a book, even if it's just 10 pages. Then Andrew was saying he's not a big reader. I love reading. Okay, yes, often it's a novel, but I can read a novel, I can page through a novel very, very quickly and very easily, and I love it because I can just churn through it very quickly. But sometimes I've got to go through some little bit more heavy duty stuff. But it's not just research things that I go through, it's also motivation. So I think I'm reading more than 10 pages a day. I don't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to read 10 pages now. But somewhere during the day, I've gone through at least 10 pages of a book. Sometimes I'm fortunate in that I can read 2 or 3 books at a time. I can read 2 pages here, 4 pages there, 6 pages over there, and be able to pick it up again very easily. It's something I've done pretty much all my life. I'm very fortunate from that perspective. But I think I'm reading in excess of 10 pages of a book or more a day. Now, the book must be a positive, mind-challenging book, not a novel. Having said that, some novels can be mind-challenging, especially if it's a novel based on fact. So it's been dramatized, but the underlying core story has been fact. It can be quite mind-challenging at times. And the next thing is your daily affirmations. And these will differ for every person, but need to be spoken as well with vigor and energy. Your self-talk. I've just summarized and created another one yesterday, in fact, which I'm going to be putting up in the one place that I find that I get to see it every day, my bathroom. Because I see it in the morning, I see it at night when I get out the shower. And again, something that I encourage people to do, but don't do myself, which I need to do, is to actually speak it out, say it out loud. When I've done it in the past, it's made a big difference because I've got the Zig Ziglar one on my bathroom wall, and this is something else that I've picked up now just recently that I summarized yesterday. They'll be going up as well. If the successful people are doing this, maybe we need to learn from them and try it as well. You know, again, early story I remember from Charlie, when he talks about putting pictures up on the wall. He said he laughed. In the beginning, I think Louis spoke about it as well. And he said, well, I want to tear out pictures from a magazine and stick them up on the wall. Shame. Don't they have any money to buy an actual proper framed picture? And then he realized that the people who were doing this were earning significantly more than what he was. And it was if they're doing it and they're earning more than me, maybe there's something in this and I should try it too. And look where they are today. You can't lead your team if you're not leading yourself. Let me get my picture out of the way over there. You can never lead other people before you learn how to lead yourself. And that's what a leader is. So, how do you lead yourself? How do you speak to yourself? What do you say to yourself privately when nobody else is around you? I've had a couple of days when I've had to seriously talk to myself about myself afterwards, when people pull out of stop signs in front of you and do stupid things. How do you speak to yourself privately? Do you encourage yourself daily? I know when I'm out running, I'm talking to myself along the whole way. Not that anybody else can hear me, but I'm talking to myself that just I can hear me. Fortunately, most times there's no other people around me when I'm doing this. But it's encouraging words of you're out to do the best today, you're out to do your best under the circumstances today. Do you believe in yourself? Well, that's the big question. Or don't you? You need to positively see yourself in a way that you would hope the rest of the world sees you. And that's why affirmations are so important. You know, how, when people look at you, who do they see? What do they see? I was quite surprised this morning and I went down. I was wearing my normal running gear and didn't think a lot of people knew me, but I met at least two people who said, "Oh, I know you. I need to come and see you. I've got a problem." Okay. I don't know them from anywhere. Two different people gave me your name today, and they said I need to come and see you because you can help me. So that made me feel a whole lot better. But are people talking about you the same way? Are people telling their friends, go and speak to John and Debbie because they can help you earn some money, get some products, get healthier, become pain-free? Or what else are they saying? Leaders have an innate ability to paint vision for their teams. So, where is this team going to? Leaders are not people who tell people what to do. Leaders are people that show people where they can go. If you don't like somebody, you can tell them where they can go. And they say a good person is somebody who can tell someone where to go uh, to the really rather hot place in such a way that they look forward to the trip. But you don't really want to be able to do that. But leaders are people that show people where they can go. Are we encouraging people that they can get up and do this, that they can grow? They say, here's the way. This is where we can go. This is the vision. And to be able to paint the vision for others, you need to paint the vision for yourself first and get it clear in your head what it is that you would like to achieve with your life. You can't guide somebody along a road that you've never been on yourself. If anybody wants to come for a walk along our parkrun track, I can show you exactly where to go, where to watch your footing. If you're wanting to run, I can tell you how fast to run and where to place your feet and what to look out for because I've done it so often. But I couldn't have done that. I couldn't tell you anything about that track. There's another new track that's just opened up down Port Edward area. And I've been told by a couple of people it's a really good track. But I can't tell you the first thing about it because I've never been there yet. So, what are your dreams? What are your goals? If you achieve those goals, what have you done for other people that is in order for you to get where you are? Zig Ziglar has always said, you can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. So just a quick summary. Be clear on your why. Why are you doing this? As he says, always says, what hurts you? Be clear on your goals. What are you doing this month? What are you doing next month? Where are you going to be 90 days down the line? Be clear on what you stand for. Honesty, integrity. Yeah, what do you stand for? The how and the what will develop later. It doesn't matter for this exercise. You are writing a novel. What is your lead character doing? Are they able to do things that you could just go, oh, wow, I don't know if I could ever do that. Maybe you could figure it out. Richard Branson is somebody who, if you don't know who he is, get his book, get his biography, his autobiography. It's a fascinating book, and he's a fascinating man because he started from nothing. And just like Charlie, he's dyslexic. And if you read his book, it's actually fascinating where he's always been out there, but he's an amazing man in there at home as well. And he's very down to earth. So he's a good leader. That is me out. Right. Anybody have any comments or questions?
Yes, Sean, we have to be grateful, and we're all very grateful to you. It's one of the things we should be grateful about. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, John and Debbie and Ansi, for always being so loyal. You're always there when I need you, and I'm sure when other people need you. So thank you, team.
Pleasure, team.
Can I just say something about the work you do today pays you tomorrow. Just remember that while you are doing things. It's not for nothing. I mean, we worked with this one lady for ages, and then suddenly we just stopped working for her. I think she didn't want to work with us. She's a medical professional, and she was just getting too busy, and she was writing all sorts of things and doing all sorts of thesis and what have you. She just said, look, I haven't got time for this. I'll come back with them. And it's only about 3, 4, 5 years to places in order every now and again. And we don't have to ask her, don't have to phone her. She just, like today, she just gave us an 81 PV order. It's in my name, it's in our name, and it's the same price as we pay. But you know, 81 PV is 81 PV. That's toward your 100 PV. It's probably not what most people think it's a business idea. But it's better than just having a customer who never ever buys again. So, yeah, then, you know, just remember that whatever you work at in this business, pay you over and over and over again. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, maybe even not next year, but it does pay you back.
It's an investment.
There will be a payback.
Mm.
If I can just share something. Absolutely, thanks. With the network I'm involved with, it definitely works. I've got a lady over 9 years buying from me every month, maybe sometimes 2, 3 times a month. And I've come to realize after every demo that I have, I get more and more orders, as you can see this month. So I'm very thankful, and the DEMS does work. You have to go out and face the people.
Correct. All right, let me stop the recording.